Good morning, and thank you all for coming here today. I'm New York State Attorney General Eric Schneiderman, and we're here today to announce an agreement that will affect thousands of New Yorkers and tens of thousands of other investors around the country who were overcharged by a Citigroup subsidiary managing their investments. Joining me here today are Congressman Eliot Engel, a very long-time friend and a tireless advocate in Washington for the people of this community and for all New Yorkers, and my colleague and good friend, Democratic Senate Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins, an outstanding partner in Albany, fighting for issues of justice, really for all the people of the state of New York, and providing leadership at the state level for the state Senate. Also joining me today from my office are Gary Brown, who's the Assistant Attorney General in charge of our Westchester Regional Office, Marty Mack, who's the Executive Deputy Attorney General for all of our regional offices, Chad Johnson, the head of my Investor Protection Bureau, and Catherine Milgram, the Deputy Bureau Chief of the Investor Protection Bureau. We have, as you know, an extraordinarily active role in policing banking and policing markets in the United States. I'm proud today to announce that we have reached an agreement between Citi and my office that involves a subsidiary of Citi and a fee-based investment program called TRAC. TRAC was a program that enabled people for a minimum investment of $10,000 to invest in a program of mutual funds and to receive investment advisory services for the life of the account. The agreements under the Citi TRAC accounts were to charge consumers advisory fees starting at 1.5% for the first $500,000 of assets in a TRAC account. But these fees were negotiable, and there were consumers who negotiated lower fees with Citi, and our office became aware that there was a problem with these accounts when a TRAC account holder filed a complaint with our Westchester regional office that Gary and his team followed up on, and our investigation revealed that even though some customers had negotiated lower rates, 1.2% in this case, they were still being charged the 1.5% standard rate. So the initial complaint was by someone who had been overcharged over a period of years about $3,000. We then contacted Citi and informed them about the problem. They very quickly looked into it, reimbursed the customer's account for the excess fees, and to their credit, they have cooperated fully in reviewing all of their files to identify other customers who may have been overcharged, and they are crediting thousands of clients with the funds that they were overcharged over the last number of years. Working with our office, Citi has so far identified more than 31,000 TRAC account holders across the country, including nearly 3,000 New Yorkers who were overcharged, and they are doing exactly what industry should do and what financial institutions should do when a problem is uncovered. Letters are already going out notifying customers that they may have been overcharged. Citi is either crediting people's accounts or sending them checks to reimburse them for the overcharging, and they're ensuring that the customers are not just getting the money that was overcharged, they're also getting interest. So customers should be receiving these contacts, getting letters, and they're eligible either for reimbursement by check or for credits to their account. So far, TRAC account holders who are overcharged are scheduled to receive nearly $16 million, including $1.3 million for customers in New York, and the bank is conducting an internal review working with my Investor Protection Bureau, not only of other TRAC accounts, but of other types of accounts as well, to make sure that any other investors who are overcharged have not been identified are also going to be getting their reimbursement. And I really want to thank Citi for taking responsibility for this. They're doing a very thorough job. They're working with our Investor Protection Bureau, and this is going to lead to the right result for tens of thousands of people across the United States. I also want to thank the investor who contacted my office for coming forward and bringing this matter to our attention. Many of our office's most important cases come from tips that we get or information we get from consumers. And it's very important for New Yorkers to understand that we treat complaints like this in a careful and confidential way. We have an excellent group of investigators and attorneys here in Westchester and all across the state, and we will aggressively pursue these cases so that we can ensure that all New Yorkers are treated fairly. In this case, one single report enabled us, with the excellent cooperation of Citi, to address a broad problem and obtain relief for tens of thousands of consumers. As New York's Chief Law Enforcement Officer, it is my job to ensure that there's one set of rules for everyone, that everyone plays by those rules. So I encourage New York consumers who need assistance to contact our office, and I am glad we were able to resolve this in a collaborative, cooperative way with Citi. This is the way we'd like to resolve all of our cases. And it is my great pleasure now to introduce to you two of my most outstanding colleagues in government who I've worked with for a long time as advocates for our communities, as advocates for equal justice under law, starting with my longtime friend and someday chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee in the House of Representatives, Congressman Eliot Engel.
Thank you. Someday. Thank you. I'm pleased to stand with the Attorney General and Senator Stewart-Cousins and my other colleagues in government in the heart of my congressional district here in Yonkers this morning to thank you, first of all, Mr. Attorney General, for being an activist Attorney General and someone who really tracks down these things and moves forward and gets results. I think what you said is very, very important, not only for what's happening here, but the point you made about constituents coming forward. Because whether it's the federal level or the state level or the local level, we get many of our ideas from constituents coming forward, not only with something like this, but in terms on a federal level of legislation proposed. So it's really important that people continue to feel that they can go to their representatives in government and move forward. This is a win-win situation for everyone. I'm happy that Citibank has cooperated and that we are able to bring justice to people who felt that they were being cheated, and we've helped to make them whole. So I want to thank you personally. We've known each other a long, long time and have worked together. But I want to thank you for being the activist Attorney General that you are. It's really important that people know that they can come to those of us who are fortunate enough to get elected to government when they have a problem. And this is an instance of, I think, a win-win situation for everybody. And thank you for inviting me here to be a part of it.
Thank you. And now, really one of my most outstanding colleagues in the New York State Senate and the leader of the Democrats in the Senate, who represents this district diligently and aggressively, Senator Andrea Stewart-Cousins.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney General, for being here. I, too, share this district with the Congressman, and I'm so proud to have you as the Attorney General. You know, the Attorney General and I were colleagues in the Senate, and he had been there fighting all those fights before he became the Attorney General. So I will say, in many ways, he's a mentor and certainly a role model for advocacy and how to really be assertive and aggressive when it comes to protecting the people of New York. And that's certainly what he's done. Today is a prime example. It's an example of how someone brought forward a problem and his office relentlessly, and again, I thank all of your very competent and able staff, went forward and not only looked at that particular issue, but found, as you said, that 31,000 people have been impacted to the tune of maybe $16 million. And of course, Citibank's cooperation in this was exemplary. So the reality is, you come forward, you have an Attorney General that's an advocate. You have an Attorney General who will fight for you. And not only fight for you, but see how it impacts the rest of your neighbors and make sure that justice is done, whether it's with the big guys with billions and billions of dollars worth of remuneration from the mortgage fraud to someone who is a local investor right here in our community. The Attorney General does the fight, and he wins, and we all benefit. So I really want to thank you so much for your efforts.
Thank you very much. Okay, and I guess we can take some questions if you just tell Andrew who you are and speak above the background noise. We're not aware of any instances like that. This is a situation in which it was a small error, and a lot of people, most people, I think pretty much everyone didn't notice it. We got one complaint, followed up on it with Citi, and to their credit, they then looked through all the rest of the files, and they've identified all of these other accounts where the same mistake was made. We do not know of any cases where someone complained to them and didn't get a response, and based on our experience, as soon as we brought this to them, they acknowledged the error and have been working hard to remedy it. Yeah, the complaint was filed about a year and a half ago, and the investigation began. Obviously, we get a complaint, we verify the facts of that, and then took it to Citi. They have been looking through their files, and we wanted to wait until we had an agreement and understood the scope of the problem before we made an announcement, and we now are able to announce that they've identified all of these consumers all over the country who are eligible for relief, including consumers in New York. But this is really a nationwide problem that was a glitch in an investment program that they were making available to consumers. And I think that it's a very good example of what big corporations, financial institutions, but others should do. It is always better if we go to a firm that they're willing to work with us and resolve a problem. Having to go to litigation represents something of a breakdown and a failure in the process of trying to work together. But Citi's a good New York institution. They did the right thing. And we're looking, first of all, to make sure that this sends a message that it's better for everyone out there who may have made a mistake to come forward and correct it with us, and we'll work with you on it. Don't make us sue you. But second of all, to show the importance of one consumer complaint and how that can lead to relief for thousands or millions of people. We can't comment on ongoing investigations. We've not come across a similar situations exactly parallel to this, but we have an extraordinarily active Investor Protection Bureau, and we do receive complaints and information from people, and we follow up on it. So we're not pursuing a situation that's exactly analogous to this, but there are mistakes that get made. There are glitches that happen in all types of industries, and the right thing to do is to deal with the problem. I mean, last week we had a situation where one of my members of my staff was in line in a Walmart and overheard them having a conversation about why they were selling Coca-Cola for more than the sale price. And they were discussing the fact, telling some consumer they had a sugar tax. Well, the person in my office knew New York doesn't have a sugar tax. Wow. So we immediately got in touch with them, and they said, okay, we're sorry, and they started charging the right amount. So any individual consumer complaint can lead to good results for lots of people, and we're looking forward to continue to follow up on information from consumers or whistleblowers in this and other areas. Yes. Sure. So we reached a settlement with AT&T yesterday, again reflecting a business practice that had to be corrected, and it now has been corrected. Cramming is when you get a bill and there are charges on it for services that you did not request or agree to. And because bills for phone companies and sometimes energy companies can be very confusing, a lot of times consumers don't really understand that they're being overcharged. In this case, there was a national investigation, and we were able to reach a resolution yesterday, and they're paying $105 million out to make whole the people who were getting charged for services they did not ask for or agree to. That's what cramming is, when they cram extra things onto your bill that shouldn't be there. It's very important for people to carefully look at their bills, particularly bills that are complicated, where there are different surcharges and sometimes there are additional taxes imposed. Take some time to look at one of your bills. Make sure you understand all the items that are there. And if there's something that doesn't appear to be right, contact the company that sent you the bill. And if you're not getting a satisfactory answer, you contact our office or any of our other colleagues in government, and we will work to obtain a solution. Thank you.